I, I stammered, my mind desperately trying to. Like all great tales, this particular one starts with me waking up naked and hungover in a public park, a gaping hole in my palm the size of a ping pong ball, the only thing that seemed even remotely familiar to me. My head felt like a hobo wearing a garish yellow suit had stomped on it, a simile that was inspired by the hobo wearing a garish yellow suit cradling me lovingly in his weirdly muscular arms. His breath smelled faintly of wounded dandelions, and his eyes reminded me of that time I walked in on my mother having sex with my uncle. "Don't move a muscle, not even a wink," the hobo sang in a harsh, but not entirely unpleasant tone. "You're probably alive. At least that's what I think." "What?" I queried. A big old grin slithered between the many wrinkles of his dirt-stained face, and I swear I could see something squirming in the back of his throat. A strange warmth enveloped my naked body as his bleeding dandelion voice washed over me once more. Oh, he's waking up again. There he is, what a guy. Look at him struggle, look at him go. He's just a man down on his luck like all these poor souls lost in Hellfuck. The music wasn't there, but also it was definitely there. It was the kind of melody you sort of find yourself humming out of the blue. Notes lining up to form a structured piece, but not quite. But you're okay with that, because it's inherently yours and yours alone. "Look, guy," I mumbled, feverishly trying to break free from his hold. "I'm not sure what happened last night, and I'm not sure I want to know, but I have a fucking hole in my hand, and a headache the size of my mom's sex drive. So I think I gotta bounce to a doctor or something." The hobo loosened his grip, an apologetic shrug following. I swiftly sort of rolled over on the grass and just kept rolling for a while, until I was sure he couldn't immediately wrap his veiny arms around me again. "He doesn't know it. Oh no, not yet. But we will give him time, and he will come around, and he will follow suit and offer up his pound." The melody was persistent, yet I felt like I was the only one that could hear it. There were flutes, drums, maybe a banjo, definitely some maracas in there somewhere, and the freakiest clarinet I'd ever heard. How can clarinets be freaky? I fucking love clarinets. "We'll send you a reminder, so go home and wait. She'll make sure that you remember and prepare for your fate." The hobo suddenly started skipping down the paved path backwards, that eerie grin frozen on his weirdly animated face. A minute or so later, I found myself alone. Miserable, naked, hole in hand, mom's sex drive headachy, and utterly confused. "What the fuck did you get yourself into this time, drunk Abel?" I muttered to myself, before turning a particularly revolting trash bag into a makeshift tunic and walk of shaming home at a moderately brisk pace. Getting into my apartment without my keys proved a bit of a challenge, but thankfully I never locked my door. So after remembering this, it wasn't really that much of a challenge after all, I suppose. I exhaustedly reclined in my recliner, and after about 10 minutes of philosophizing over the very apt naming of the furniture, I heard the freaky music again. This time it seemed to come from my girlfriend, of which I have no recollection of ever meeting. "Hey, my name is Sarah, and I'm your girlfriend. She is flirty and funny and happy and sad, and she'll chop off your fingers when you do something bad." Hi," I said, staring at the woman jazz hand dancing in the middle of my living room. "I, don't think you have the right apartment. You're probably looking for Tilly. They met in the Hellfuck 2025. Two souls just down in the mix. One was of sadness and madness and woe, and the other had these weird fucking tics." "Hey," I yelled, momentarily forgetting I usually didn't do that. Sorry, it's just that it's a medical thing and..." She was tall, my girlfriend. Was she my girlfriend? I always wanted a tall girlfriend, all raven-haired and pretty, and with a strange dark past she'd confess to me in bits and pieces when we were cuddling in my recliner, and I would nod and whisper a soft whoa or man every once in a while, just to let her know she was interesting, and she'd light up then and feel all comfortable and free, and I'd smile because I'd done that. I'd made her feel free. I'd have to get a bigger recliner though, this one could barely fit me, and I'm a pretty skinny guy. The music suddenly turned dark and moody. the romantic banjo and didgeridoo replaced by a hollow-sounding piano and a remarkably depressing cello. Without knowing it, I was humming along to the melody, my mind somehow in sync with the eerie otherworldliness of it. You did something bad, Abel, can't you recall? You left out something sacred that was meant for us all. I'm sorry, you have to give us what you promised to give £1 for the hellfuck in the other, to live before I had the chance to even remotely make sense of her chilling song. She grabbed a kitchen knife from my counter, held it up in a very stabby-like fashion, her beautiful brown eyes rapidly filling with tears. She did what we asked, and she asked the same of you. So this is your own fault. Through and through, I edged back in my recliner then, several nervous ticks firing at once. I was expecting her to charge me all stabby wide eyes, but instead she instantly turned the knife on herself. A swift nick to the throat, all that it took for her to bleed out all over my floor. For some reason I rushed to her aid, cradling her in my arms, much like the hobo had done for me. An unnatural sadness came over me then, and I felt drawn to her in ways that seemed inexplicable to me. I don't know what to do, I mumbled. Don't trust them, Abel, she whispered. They're lying. Who? I yelled, but she was gone. Why did I feel it? Why was it so crushing? I'd known her for 2 minutes, but she was my girlfriend, and I think I really truly loved her. How was any of this possible? I must have sat with her for 15 minutes, staring at her beautiful dead face, gallons of blood pumping out all over my trash bag tunic, of which I had yet to change out of for some reason. This was very much a me thing to do. I'd get hopelessly lost in these ridiculous details, thus ending up ignoring the chaos unfolding all around me. Tilly. I have to call Tilly. Tilly would know what to do. This is a very Tilly situation, so that's what I did. 555, call a psychopath. Because that's what Tilly was, honest to God. Nothing seemed to affect him. Or, that's not entirely true. Rather, he seemed to enjoy the prospect of seriously messed up shit. I'd say that still qualifies as psychopathic behavior, though. Who's this? Tilly answered in an alarmingly cheery tone. Misery? Bliss? Tilly, man, I started. I need your help. Say no more, Abel, he replied. I knew you'd come through. Hang tight for a second, and I'll come over to you. He knew. I'd come through? What the fuck did that mean? Come through with what? Before I had the chance to ask, though, he hung up on me, and I could hear his energetic footsteps approaching from down the hall. Abel, my guy. What have you gotten yourself into this time around? I stammered, my mind desperately trying to find words to vocalize my confusion, while my legs were moving to Tilly's gentle rhythm, the melody eerily reminiscent of a song I heard at my uncle's funeral. But your uncle died before you were born, didn't he, Abel? How could you have been in his funeral then? You didn't even know the guy. No, that can't be right. Who's that in my head? Please, get out of my head. I gave you the ticket, but you didn't comply, and I told you in detail that such shit wouldn't fly ticket. I asked. Tilly, why the fuck are you singing? What the fuck is going on? The man in the park? The strange yellow king? I'm sure that I told you, lest you forgot the whole thing. I couldn't remember, but it was like also I did. Like a continuous deja vu, a feeling of something familiar, a strange itch in the back of my mind. Words and songs and blood and regret. I can't, Tilly, I murmured, tears streaming down my face now. I can't remember. Look at her hands, Abel. Look at them close and ask yourself why you didn't choose what she chose. Her, hands? I have this condition, so the king turned me down, I cut and I carved, but couldn't give him my pound. I looked closely at the dead woman's hands, and for the first time in quite a while, something actually made some manner of sense. There were holes in them, gaping wounds, the size of fucking ping pong balls. 2 pounds of flesh, one for her life, one for the hellfuck. I can't help it, Abel. I can't seem to quit. I'm perpetually addicted to grade A fucked up shit. You mean, I mumbled. You mean you put me up to this? He told me you're special, and that he'd let me in if I brought you right to him to uncover your sin. Oh, isn't it funny? Funny but true? The king can't kill me, but he sure can kill you. I punched him then, right in his fucking nose. Problem was, I did it with the palm of my hand. You know, the one with the gaping hole in it, and the punch never really landed. Instead, his nose kind of went through my wound and stuck out on the other side. Tilly doubled over, laughing then. A melodic, symphonic, musical laughter. Seek an audience with the king and offer up your pound, or I'm afraid I won't see you the next time around. Tilly kept laughing, joyously wiping the blood from his nose as he danced out of my apartment. A sudden panic overcame me, omnipresent and mind-consuming, but weirdly enough, the prospect of dying wasn't what set it off. Rather, it was the terrifying idea of always being serenaded, like I was in some fucking lifelong musical. The horror. The park it was then, to seek an audience with the Yellow King apparently. None of it made any sense, and I was still halfway convinced I was trapped in some extremely vivid fever dream. But I figured, hey, you gotta see it through even if it means you have to face the real you. No, fucking hell no. No time to lose, run down to the park in my bloody trash bag tunic, get there before dark. All the people eye you weirdly, heads are turning as you run. Could it be that they don't like bloody madmen running with a gun? The headache was back, the mom's sex drive headache. But you didn't really know the first thing about your mom's sexual adventures, did you, Abel? She left you when you were just a little baby. Wee little screaming fucking useless shit. No wonder they all leave you, Abel. But we won't. We'll always be there for you. No, focus, Abel. We're back in the past now. I remember everything. I grabbed my gun, stepped over the dead woman, and for some reason I gently placed a bloody towel over her, as if to keep her warm or maybe hide her from the landlord. Death is cold and lonely, I remember thinking. When I approached the park, I could feel him in my head, the Yellow King, prodding and inspecting and vivisecting and dissecting, poking dormant neurons and uncovering memories I'd long since buried under rotting mind debris. One by one, they came shambling out from the cavernous depths, and I was rapidly losing myself in the madness of the collective trauma. A dark and somber melody haunted my every step, a piano in minor, ominous string instruments. The king emerged. Ah, Abel, there you are. Come tell me what you found. Betrayal and loss, a friend to blame, all tied up in your missing pound. The hobo in the garish suit, the Yellow King, danced down the paved path gracefully, like he was sliding along on slippery ice. His words awakened something in the depths of my mind, and before long I found myself rolling in the grass once more, an excruciating mental agony shredding through every fiber of my being. Down in the hellfuck will cut away the useless parts like pain and fear and love and hate, the icky stuff that fills your heart. I don't understand, I murmured. Sure you do, just take a moment. Reflect on memories disguised. Could it be that mom and uncle wasn't what your mind despised? The amassing torrent of nervous tics sent my body into uncontrollable and unyielding seizures. Please, don't, I whispered. The memories came flooding back then. My girlfriend, Sarah, the love of my life, tall, beautiful, perfect in every conceivable way. I'd lay my head down in her lap and listen to her talk for hours, only responding with a whoa or man every so often, just to make her feel special and wanted. So why then, Sarah, did you do it? Why did you sleep with him? My best friend, Ozzy, Oswald, Orlando, what was his name? The traitor, betrayer, the face of your shame, Eddie, I murmured. His name was Eddie. I couldn't forgive him. Who can forgive something like that? He cut out my heart, stomped on it, spat in it, then gave it back to me, like I somehow owed him for learning the truth about Sarah. You deserve to be buried, Eddie, deep in my subconscious. I will never let you out. You couldn't stand it, the pain and the loss. So you ended his life, and then came the cost. No, but no one knew. How could he know? It was an accident, everyone agreed. Died in his sleep, Overdose of pain medication. It happens, you know. Opioid addiction? Nasty business. They could never trace that shit to me. The cost, you may ask, came from her knife a pound for the hellfuck and one for her life. No, that's not true, I whispered. She didn't, offer it to you. She, killed herself. Her father found her a few days after the funeral. Knife to the throat. Why the throat? Doesn't that seem strange to you? I asked her father about it. Yelled at him as they lowered the casket. Why the throat? I asked. Why the fuck did she go for the throat? He didn't answer. Just stared at me. Just fucking stared at me. But she did it, didn't she? She offered her flesh. 1 pound for her life, the other for hellfuck. Now you know, and she's down here with me, waiting to see you and for you to be free. I raised my hand, the one without the gaping wound. Deep down, I wanted nothing more than to see her again, to stare into those bottomless eyes and to lose myself in everything that she was. Take my pound, I'd yell. Yes, that's what I'd tell him. Take my pound and take me to her. So why didn't I? Fuck you, I said, stumbling to my feet. Fuck you and fuck hellfuck. What? I'll face myself alone, I murmured, staring into the squirming madness at the back of the Yellow King's throat. The hellfuck. Countless souls disembodied and intermingled and interwoven, slithering worms that would never be truly free. I deserve the pain. This isn't a request, don't make me laugh. Bow down to my madness before I rip you and fuck you, I spat. I'm out of here. The somber melody quickly picked up in pace, a crescendo of panicky cellos and violins accompanying the insanity of the piano. A choir of death, more than likely the souls lost in the hellfuck, moaned and whimpered, howled and lamented. And for a moment I saw her, the real her, all shriveled up and rotting and tormented, and she looked me in the eye, a pitiful gaze, apologetic almost, and then silence. The king disappeared, if he was ever really there to begin with, and I instantly collapsed on the ground. When I came to hours later, it was like the weight of the world had been lifted from my shoulders, and I felt free. Free and broken, and scarred and human, and like an irredeemable piece of shit. Just like we're supposed to feel. Though I can still feel him sometimes, his footsteps echoing in my mind, like a soft drum beat, naked feet stomping in decomposing flesh. I can taste the yellow in the back of my throat then, and I'll remember that he still owns my life. That part will always belong to him, and he can end it whenever he feels like it. But that's okay, 'cause I'm never gonna go down to the hellfuck, and if asked, neither should you. If the king comes around and asks